So we're very, very fortunate to have with us His Excellency Tapera Mhishi, the ambassador for Zimbabwe, and of course our local member, MP Stephen Bali for Blacktown. Ambassador, what brings you to the Emerging Materials Championships, and how do you see events like this strengthening ties between Australia and Zimbabwe?
Thank you, Raja. I mean, to begin with, it's not only about an event, but it is the essence of sport as the catalyst that, bonds communities, bonds individuals. So sport is a critical interlocutor in building relationships. And this is something that motivates me. And more so that, there are opportunities for furthering Zimbabwe-Australia relations using sport, in particular, women's soccer, the sport that has in the last couple of decades become popular. And Australia is a team that is known in Zimbabwe, the Matildas. Have been a darling of many soccer fans in Zimbabwe.
Fantastic. Stephen Bali, what do you think? How can Ambassador Tapera Mhishi, His Excellency, how can he add value to our tournaments here?
Look, it's absolutely fabulous to have a person like His Excellency, the Ambassador here, and building that relationship between Australia and Zimbabwe. And I know the Ambassador has been so well connected in not only the Blacktown community, but across Australia. And him reaching out to me saying, apart from our friendship and talking over the last few years together, and I mentioned to him that we had this tournament, the Football Federation of Australia here, and Football Federation of Australia, really the FFA wants to support other nations and bring other nations here. So the Matildas and the Socceroos and the emerging Matildas and all the state teams have an opportunity to participate, as we saw with Malaysia. And it's great with the ambassador here thinking, well, is there a chance for Zimbabwe to play a role here one day? And how good it is with our strong African community from various different countries across Africa, particularly Zimbabwe. I believe in the Blacktown area, we've got about 380 Zimbabweans here. To how do they participate? And we've had the African Cup out here. So it's great to have the ambassador here who, without question, comes straight out here to see this tournament and build the continuing our bonds. Great to see you here.
Ambassador, what role does sport play, particularly football, in youth development and empowerment in Zimbabwe?
Well, we see football in the context of for the overall, grooming, upbringing of children. Again, like I said, those interpersonal roles are built. Team sport is connecting. It is the ability to do things, achieve common objectives as a collective. So football becomes indispensable from that point of view. Furthermore, in a society where children have a propensity to indulge in things like drugs and narcotics, but when you keep them busy with sport, they channel their energies in the right direction. So in that context, football is a plus.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question. With about 60,000 people from Zimbabwe who are originally from Zimbabwe, who are here in this beautiful state, I would say, if not in this, is it 60,000 in the country?
Yes, 60 plus in Australia.
Are there current or future possibilities of some kind of a collaboration between Australian and Zimbabwean football programs, especially at the grassroots level here, with the young Socceroos and the young Matildas?
Yes, for example, as we have seen, Raja, today with the emerging Matildas, these are 15, under 16, under 15 years. And, obviously, these are the type of, this is the age group that we will be looking at connecting with Zimbabwe, peers. So indeed, I hope the Federation of Football Australia will be looking into this in the near future, as I'll be engaging them with a view to including Zimbabwe the same way Malaysia participated, and I think Zimbabwe can also take part.
Ambassador, I'd also like to ask you, women's football, how is it in Zimbabwe as compared to the global trends?
Well, we can say in a way Zimbabwe's women's football has come of age. We are a credible competitor within the Southern African region. We are a credible competitor within the African continent. So we've actually progressed to, advanced stages of the competition with respect to all the sub-region within the COSAFA context, as well as the, African Cup of Nations for the women's football.
Mr. Bali, I'd like to ask you, what do you think are the opportunities at the emerging levels of the girls and the boys sport for Australia and Zimbabwe? We had a Malaysian team here for this tournament. Can we potentially see a team from Zimbabwe next year?
Well, I hope so, and that's why it's great to have the ambassador here to witness this tournament. The facilities that we have here, whether it's at Valentine Park, the home of Football New South Wales, or Blacktown International Sports Park that has football fields, the home of the Wanderers and the Blacktown Spartans and the association, as well as a great health and performance centre there. If we can get teams from Zimbabwe out here to 15s and 16-year-olds and come up with a package where they're here for a couple of weeks, where they can participate in local schools. The English language is very well taught in Zimbabwe, so they can easily communicate with our local children and work together, sharing culture and sport together. And I think it'd be a wonderful way that Australia and Zimbabwe can work together to, really for the next generation to come through. And the First Lady has actually of Zimbabwe has a strong track record of building sport and connecting around the world. And she was out here just earlier this year trying to connect and talking to our local youth and her experience with the building the sports in Zimbabwe is absolute credit to her and what she's done there.
Ambassador Joe Mhishi, what message would you like to share with young African Australian girls aspiring to pursue football at a competitive level?
Well, the first basic ingredient in any sport is discipline, commitment, perseverance. This will be my message to them. Also that they should integrate. So Australia is a racial society. It's a multicultural society. So they should now start seeing themselves as the integral elements of that Australian society. That is the most fundamental, ingredient if they were to then progress to play and enjoy sport like other children who they found, born and bred in Australia.
Sir, you have been ambassador for 5 years, am I right?
Yes.
What impressions have you had of Australian sport and the sporting culture during your tenure here so far?
Well, I would say, the sport in Australia is taken not as by the way. It is well organized. The organization, the commitment from local leadership, community leadership, state leadership, and federal level is amazing. It goes, it's part of what you say. Maybe in other terms, people say if you fail to plan, you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Now in Australia, they've organized, which means they are not planning to fail. Organization is important. It also comes with funding. Sport in Australia is well funded, and so the facility is also a part of what goes into the whole package of what produces the best out of the athletes, out of the soccer players, or football players, as others call it.
And the final question to you, Mr. Bali, you would be very excited and very happy to see such a successful tournament. Tomorrow is the grand finale. It's a closing ceremony too, and somebody's going to walk away with the cup. We've had teams from all over Australia, and we've had a team from Malaysia. How good was it to have this event in Blacktown?
Oh, look, it's absolutely fabulous to have the emerging Matildas from the players that we saw here right across Australia, and the crowds. The crowds have been huge that have been here. And great for the city of Blacktown, promoting not only tourism from everyone from across the country, and Malaysia have been part of it. But the atmosphere, the camaraderie between the states, between countries almost, it's just wonderful that and thrilling, and seeing the heartbreak or the ecstasy of the last second goals. So how many games that we've seen together that a goal in the last second, so depending on which side who scored, plus penalty shootouts, it's just been absolutely amazing tournament that's been here, and to be hosted in the Blacktown area, in the home of New South Wales football, here at Valentine Park. What great atmosphere, great food that's been here. It's been a party atmosphere. It's great to see all the parents enjoying themselves and reveling in the children. And tomorrow, the finals will be brilliant. You get to see so many New South Wales teams in the final too.
Ambassador Joe Mhishi, thank you so much for coming here from Canberra. Thank you for coming and attending this wonderful competition, this wonderful championship, the Combank Emerging Young Matildas Championships 2025. We thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Raja. It was a privilege for me to witness this great event.